Hey there, welcome back to the Barrow. I am the Barrow White, and today we're still playing some NIMBY rails, German rails. Today's episode will be RE55 between Würzburg and Frankfurt. So let's get moving. Now that's an interesting coat of arms. What is that? It's like a genie in a jug from 1563? Definitely would love to hear the history of that one. Genie in a jug. Of course, it could have been something completely different. Could have been just some dude taking a bath and praying. This one unintentionally says zoo. Here's another jar. People along this river do like their big jugs. One thing I've noticed is that so many towns are named Bach or Feld. Bach means stream, or small, very small river, or something like that. And Feld is field. So in English, you'll see a lot of towns named, Springfield or Brightfield or something field. Very common. But apparently that's very common in Germany as well. You see a lot of Felds and a lot of Bachs. Now that coat of arms kind of made sense. I don't know what the colors meant, but it just had a river running through it, and this town had a river running through it. Do you think their castle was made out of gold bricks, or were they protecting a big giant stack of gold bricks with a bunch of axes? We may never know. I don't know why I've turned this into like a critique of all of the coats of arms, but I found those almost as interesting as the actual train routes themselves. Either the Viethtal people were big drummers, and that was their drumsticks, or those were a couple of flutes. Otherwise, I don't know what those were. There's another big jug-looking thing. though this one looks more like a wrapped wine jug. Whereas the other ones before look like big earthenware urns that praying guys like to hang out in. Here there's a lot of tunnels, a series of tunnels from what I recall when I was building this. Yeah, look at that. It's interesting, sometimes you'll see them use tunnels, and sometimes they'll go around the mountain, and it makes you wonder, what decides that decision, right? What makes that decision? Is it some guy won't give up his land, or it's cheaper to go around than go through, or vice versa? I don't know, but when you think about the money and resources, I know I've talked about this before, but the money and resources to create the infrastructure that modern countries have, it's just amazing. And when we think about it, many places here in Germany will have ancient Roman roads and aqueducts and buildings and towns and cities and walls and whatever. And that's 2,000 years ago. So that's amazingly remarkable. The technology that they had at that time. Aschaffenburg has a big American Army presence, or it did back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and I believe it still does today. I don't know exactly what their mission is there, but it was all part of the post-war and the Cold War strategies from NATO and the United States. Sometimes you just can't get a track to go blue, so you just turn it into a bridge, and it feels like a cheaty way to do it. But I don't know. There might be a bridged area right there. It might be incredibly accurate to real life. Klein Ostheim, small eastern home. Another coat of arms with a river. Totally makes sense. Rivers would be a huge part of any culture or any family's wealth.
Where's no ordinary rabbit?
That's a big water wheel, but they're on a big river, so it makes sense. Though I would imagine maybe their mill was on one of those smaller streams coming down out of the mountains instead of the giant, the Main River, which isn't necessarily a giant river, but it's not small either. The White Tree of Gondor. Well, I saw Frankfurt, so we're getting into this city now. Oh, here we are, the south side of the city. So we're almost to the end of this line. Hopefully that'll permit enough crossover so trains could use all of the platforms regardless of which direction they came in from. Looks like coming in from the south, you'd be able to use the bottom 2 platforms, and coming in from the north, you'd be able to use all 4 platforms. Pretty sure that was my design, not theirs. Oh, and here we're finally getting to Frankfurt for the first time. The Hauptbahnhof in Frankfurt is large. As you can see, it has many platforms. And these are just the above ground ones. There are a couple of subway platforms beneath this. I am considering doing a subway system in one of these cities soon. My goal, of course, is to get at least the regional routes around the country so I have trains running all over the country. But I'm thinking about taking a break from that and, like I said, maybe doing a subway or a Straßenbahn or the combination, whatever their local train transit is. Frankfurt has a nice big one. Many of the big cities do. Cologne, Berlin, München, many others have large subway systems or streetcar systems, trolley, whatever you want to call it. All right, so now we've got all the way from, we've reached Frankfurt from Würzburg. Now let's build our line. It looks like this route works. Let's put more trains on it. Well, let's set the actual times for the schedules, and we'll go ahead and get more trains on it. Looks like right now it's 2 hours and 31 minutes between trains if I only have one train. So I definitely want to get it to at least 3, so I'm closer to a train every hour. What is this error? Let's just get rid of him for the moment. Fast forward to the next day. It looks like I only put 2 trains on the line. And it's the yellow ones there in the center. So you can catch a train along this route from Frankfurt to Würzburg every hour or so, a little bit less, maybe a little more, since I didn't put a 3rd train on there. I really need to keep a better eye on the top number of passengers. And really, if I look in the game, it might actually tell me the most passengers I've had at one time. I'll have to look through the reports, and I will show that if I discover if that information is available. Otherwise, keep an eye out. We're almost at 3,000 now. Boop, over 3,000. $3,200, oh, $3,600. We're gonna get to 4,000 in a moment. I guess it's rush hour. People are heading to work, though they're getting to work a little late, aren't they? It's after 9 o'clock. I know Germans start work earlier than that. That's the current passengers. You know, let's go ahead and wrap it up for this episode. I think we did a good job of getting from Frankfurt to Würzburg and back. It's been a lot of fun doing this NIMBY Rail series. I'm going to keep going for as long as I can, and that should be many more episodes. Right now we're at 97 kilometers and 27 stations for this episode. Of course, for this route, it was 97 and 27. And for the series, 738 and 171. That is a pretty good total. So thank you for watching. Hope you'll come back soon, watch some more. Please hit like and subscribe, and have a great day.